Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today is episode 365 of Daily Global Insights, and joining me is my co-host Sridhar Chityalaji. Sridharji, Namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel, sir.
Namaskar. Good morning to everybody, or good evening in India, and looking forward to an exciting session on this Saturday.
What we are seeing is that inflation is going on unabated. We've had a change in finance minister in United Kingdom. I don't know what good that is going to do. I'm just using loud, sir. Europe is, it's really teetering on the brink of, collapse because of the fact that they're staring down the barrel. No plan of how they are going to get their heating, natural gas and so on and so forth. What is the thinking in United States, sir? Because they have a midterm poll, believe it or not.
Good morning to everybody once again, and some very interesting set of questions by Sriji to kick off this session. Look, I think I don't want to preempt, but we will give some interesting charts tomorrow in the market summary perspective. In the market summary section, we will show the inflation chart, and it's a precursor. You will be astonished to see what is driving actually the cost of inflation. But to respond to the three specific questions within one question of three. One, what is United States is doing? Well, United States government is doing nothing, whereas the United States regulator, which is the Fed, believes that by raising rates they can contain inflation, and that's what they're doing. And they don't see much abatement either on the unemployment side or on the containment of the inflation. So we're going to have sustained high rates as far as the monetary tool is concerned. As far as the UK is concerned, UK got a huge backlash with the tax reductions that was launched by the British Prime Minister, Madam Truss, and that received adverse reaction, and some other kind of abnormal bond purchase programs which started and got terminated. So the finance minister has been shown the door. So therefore, on the fiscal policy side, in response to the challenge that they face. The third question is, what is Europe doing to its with regard to the challenges that it faces on the energy side? Lo and behold, two important data points. Europe is continuing to import nuclear fuel from Russia. Okay, it's not within the ban, so therefore they are continuing to use nuclear fuel. Number one. Number two, all the zombie about climate accord is out of the window. The coal plants are being retooled or recooked so that they can draw some energy. During the period when there was abatement or when there was decline in the energy production, there was growth by 56% during the same period in the import of coal by several countries. So that's where we are heading, G. So climate accord is gone. You remember the $385 billion we had in the US inflation reduction budget out of the window? So therefore, we are going to be no more climate accord. Everybody for others, including India, is retooling its coal plants. So this is what the world is met with, Sriji.
We can look forward to interesting times because the Lebanon-Israel accord for natural gas also is looking like going to be in trouble. So we'll have to wait and see on that. In the meanwhile, India is on the move. India thinks that India is going to be able to produce its own crude oil up to 25% by 2030. Sridharji, where are these oil fields located?
I think they have found new basins. That's number one. Number two, India is also going to refine other types of crude which it can domestically consume and export on behalf of the importer. In fact, this was the whole Modi-Trump policy. The whole Modi-Trump policy was the West Texas intermediary crude, which is not Brent quality, was to be exported to India exported to India from United States, refined by, the private sector refineries. Part of it was to be exported on behalf of United States to the rest of the world. And in the process, United States will be a net exporter rather than a net importer, and also augment India's capacity to offset on exports and imports. This was the whole policy. So I think this is what they are trying to do, but they may source from different people. And hopefully, if the Republican regime is back, the West Texas Intermediary crude may be back flowing into India.
And India now becomes the sixth nation to have its own 5G stack, which it can then offer to the world. Sridharji, this is amazing. Where is this being deployed, sir? Is it Ambani that has this thing, or which company, sir?
I think they have set up a whole set of manufacturing capabilities. Some of it is within their public sector. It's an outstanding presentation given both on railways and 5G by the respective ministers. And what they have done is quite an amazing thing in terms of indigenously developing this technology. And they answered even the question why technology was not allowed to be imported from China. And I think it's a very important answer, which is namely, this is of strategic importance. And they have built the entire 5G stack domestically, which each of the components being manufactured by a whole set of players, including the startups. Again, go back to 2020 February visit of President Trump and his meeting with the industry. He told Mr. Ambani, if you have the technology and if you have the ability to develop the technology, please come to United States. We'll provide the capital and build it for us. Okay, but regime changed, and that's in the back burner. But India has moved forward in a very positive and good news for India.
Yes, indeed. And viewers, today evening at 8 o'clock, there is an historic occasion that is going to be talked about. The 1971 Bangladesh genocide is now being recognized by United States, and there is a resolution that has been tabled in front of the Congress, and we'll be talking about that. Don't miss that program. What I'm saying that is because this is, again, first time I think that United States has now acknowledged that what happened to the Hindus and some Muslims too in the then East Pakistan has to be recognized, and what's going to happen afterwards on the country Pakistan, we'll have to wait and see. Sridharji, let's take a look at what is happening in China, and for our viewers' benefit, I'd like to put a small drawing here as to how the CCP is going about electing its candidates. Sir, walk it through, sir.
Well, I think Xi is in all probabilities, when this August Congress meets and elects its leader, it is in all probability Xi will be back and will also probably share and who key members are. The news is that all his key allies are in the important positions across the spectrum. Start with the Congress assembles, that's 2,300 people. They select the Central Committee comprising of 376 members. These members in turn select three important committees. One is the Politburo, which basically 25 members. Then you have a standing committee comprising of 7 members, and then you have the General Secretary. So 3 important groups: the Politburo, the Standing Committee, and the General Secretary. I think let's wait and see whether Xi Jinping gets all 3, which is General Secretary, the President, as well as being the head of the army. Currently, he holds all the 3 positions, but sign of things to come. But he is likely to be re-elected in all circumstances. And the only thing that we can expect as a result of this is more troublesome days ahead if he continues to follow the policy that he followed until now.
Sridharji, you had mentioned that the choice of the premier replacing Li Keqiang is a very interesting one in a couple of DGIs back. Can you share some thoughts on who you think will be the likely premier?
No, I think
or
that
prime minister.
The prime minister. I think that the Deng was rumored to be one of the guys, but I don't know whether he is likely to be. The whole situation in China is very in flux. Now, there is this I forget the name, the person from Guangdong, who is a liberal man, who allowed some protests to happen with regard to certain issues. It is believed that he is likely to be elected the prime minister or premier, And if it does so, he is expected to again toe the line. Whether this is a compromise that is being worked out in lieu of the potential succession that might happen when Xi leaves remains to be seen. But this is all the type of news that is allowed to float across, but his name got prominently mentioned, which also means whether the Shanghai group has been compromised. That is the other thing that comes out, Shriji.
And I don't know if you saw the video, Sridharji. A few hours ago, I put out a video wherein the United States has passed a new resolution which essentially made all the employees of fab manufacturing companies such as ASML, Applied Materials, and Lam Research to choose between staying and working in China or resigning the Chinese jobs and coming back to US, without which they were going to lose their citizenship. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Viewers, do watch that video. It's on our channel too. I'll try to put the link on this one so that in case you want to go, you can go to the description and watch that. Your thoughts on that, Sridharji?
Well, I think that this is it's actually, to be honest, the resolution that was passed more recently
October 7th, sir.
October 7th extends to a wide spectrum. There are US green card holders and US citizens who have factories operating in in China. Now, they may be left with no choice either to divest or to lose their green card and citizenship. This is ubiquitous. It's not just. So they are likely to extend this. They started with chip, then they extended to sensitive industries. Now they extended to the scope that Shriji is alluding to. But what I'm hearing is it is even much broader, where the US green card holders and US citizens may be left with no choice but to walk away and divest, putting really Xi Jinping under the hammer in terms of the choices that he needs to make.
So we'll wait and see how that plays out. Sir, touch upon the Ukraine-Russia war. Looks like Russia doesn't want to talk to the West about, stopping it, and they are also mobilizing. They think in about 2 weeks' time they'll be having even more troops on the ground. Although we are hearing some very interesting stories about who these new recruits are. Tell us how you see the situation, and looks like this is going to adversely affect the Democrats.
Well, first and foremost, Shriji, Russia is led by an ex-KGB man. Okay, he's not a democratic leader. He comes from as a former head of KGB. So in other words, he can play all games, and he feels it is all and fair in the game as far as the geopolitics is concerned. If you go back, which we probably reported but not reported extensively, he made a very rebutting statement on West in terms of various policies West has implemented adversely. And he says United States and the West has no moral authority to dictate humanitarian other types of rules-based order. There was no rebuttal either from the West or there was no rebuttal from the United States. At least you should have said, okay, we hear you, but let's kind of, play the chess game and see what you have to say. No, he did. So therefore, I think what you're seeing here is he's clearly drawn, and he's got a whole bunch of allies who are willing to support him with their own mercenaries and troops and so on. Vladimir Putin has just announced he's got 200,000 people mobilized. He's used the word 200,000 people mobilized. He didn't say 200,000 Russians who are in the front end of this mobilization. He's ready to fight, he's not ready to concede, and nor he is willing to negotiate either with West or with Ukraine. So what does West do? Goes on pumping Ukraine with more munitions, more money, and more missiles. So how does this help to solve the energy problem or the economic problem? It doesn't, Shriji.
Yes, indeed. And it is good that the winter this year is expected to be mild in Europe. So I don't know if that will soften the blow. We'll have to wait and see. Hungary and Turkey are still blocking Sweden and Finland from joining NATO. This is an interesting game here. Turkey had made some very stringent demands to which both Finland and Sweden acceded to. And yet now these people haven't still blessed it. So I don't know what is going on there. Sridharji, any idea on that?
Well, I think that what will happen is the West and the NATO will surreptitiously cover Finland and Sweden, bypassing, and they will provide the indirect cover as they would do for any other nation which it chooses to provide. As they started lukewarm with Ukraine, now they have stepped up. So you may see something similar with both Finland and Sweden. They're going to give two hooves to Hungary or to Turkey.
And let's take a quick look at Taiwan. And Taiwan has tracked 23 Chinese warplanes and 5 ships near its border. Japan prepares Okinawa as a refugee center in the event of a Chinese attack. Sridharji, let us wrap it up on this one, sir. Any thoughts on what's happening here? Taiwan's looking confident also. Now, I think Xi Jinping, having been re-elected, do you think he might take a pause on that?
I think it remains to be seen. He's far more cautious man relative to Putin. But remember, Putin is KGB. He's far more seasoned and experienced relative to what Xi Jinping can aspire to be. So he knows how to play right across the spectrum. So I think Xi Jinping may not attempt Taiwan, but remember the Shinkaku on either side, Dayu and Shinkaku, they may try and see what they can do and hurt Japan, especially taking over the northern and the southern islands, in the process consolidating further control around the Taiwanese Strait. They may not directly attack Taiwan, but they may do these particular two strips together. In the process, create problem for Japan, which is one of the reasons why Okinawa is being prepared, notwithstanding what happens in Taiwan either.
Thank you very much, Sriji. And viewers, that's it for today. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. If you liked our research, please show your appreciation by clicking on the super thanks button, or you can also pay us via PayPal, paypal.me/PGURUS. Thank you once again, Sridharji, and we'll be back tomorrow for a market wrap-up on Sunday. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Thank you so much, and have